Brothers War is finally here, ladies and gentlemen. Brothers War is here, and we're kicking things off with an absolute nasty meta build. We're talking about an Esper mid-range deck. Now, this deck was already extremely good before Brothers War got here, and it just got even better. And it's because we're trying out some new cards like Teferi, the new, the new Planeswalker, a card I've been, dying to try out since I've seen it. Basically, this is really cool because it gains loyalty through drawing cards, right? And then there's also this other ability tied to it where you create this spirit token that grows as you draw cards. Obviously, the ultimate ability on here, sending everything back to your opponent's hand and whatnot and back in their deck, is really, really busted. But we're trying to gain loyalty by drawing cards, which fits extremely well in this Esper build because we connive, we draw cards, we do those types of things in this deck already. Now, some other new cards I wanted to touch base on was Gix. Gix Yawgmoth Praetor, I think is how you say it, but this card is a 3/3 creature that whenever we're dealing damage to our opponent's face, we're going to be drawing cards and taking damage, which isn't a big deal because we gain life with things like Shieldred, so drawing cards and dealing ourselves a bit of damage, not a big deal. And lastly, some new cards that are a little bit more experimental in the deck, but I wanted to try out and see how they felt. Were both the white and black commands, but also the Surge engine. Now, the commands are interesting. They seem very good. A couple of them seem very, very good, particularly the white and black one here today, because they offer us a lot of options, right? Which can be flexible for a lot of different game plans. So we're not going to read every single one here, but basically, you get offered quite a bit of options, some of them good, some of them better than others. But today we're going to try these out and see how they roll. And then lastly, the Surge engine is a creature that I'm taking and supplementing in for the Evolved Sleeper. Same sort of effect here, except this is a 2-drop and it has a much bigger payoff in the back end with drawing a bunch of cards with, its final ability, and it's a little bit bigger of a creature. So we're going to see how this thing goes. These cards are a bit of an experiment for us, but let me just tell you guys this deck is so good still. I think we went on like a 7-game run or something like that, didn't lose a single game, absolutely destroyed the ladder. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy today's video, especially if you're going to end up crafting something like this. But expect this to be somewhat of a meta build going forward. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's gameplay footage. We're going to get right into that. But at the end of today's video, there'll be a full deck breakdown. Stick around for that. And in the meantime, there's a link down below for the full deck list. And if you guys enjoy content just like this, if you wouldn't mind giving the video a like, subscribe, all that good stuff helps out an absolute ton. With that being said, though, guys, enjoy the games. We'll see you at the end. Peace. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today's going to be a really fun day because we have Brothers War released here on the arena today, and this is going to be a really fun time for us because we got some new cards to explore. But I am going to be playing probably a little bit more tried and true builds, I guess is the best way to put it. Builds that were already kind of good before, and I think are getting pretty solid upgrades. Esper being one of those, obviously, and opening hand here pretty good. But I want to get these, stronger decks that I think we're going to see a lot of out of the way, and then jump into some of the funner things down the road. But kicking things off with Esper because I really, really wanted to play Teferi. I think Teferi looks really good. And I think Esper's a good spot for it too because there's a lot of drawing cards in Esper. Obviously, Rafine is very helpful too because of its connive ability. Opponent, though, on some Selesnya enchants. Turn up my fan here a little bit. It's a bit warm in here, just a bit. And say go. We did draw into our Surge engine, which is a pretty cool card. I'm excited to try this one. Don't know how well it's gonna play synergistically, but it does have some synergies in it that do look like they might be a pretty good fit here for today's build. Let's see. I think I want to go wedding announcement so we can go right into drawing cards the moment we start, conniving with the Rafine and whatnot. The command here, let's read it one more time. So this has a lot of options on there. You can choose from two, you can choose up to 2 of these, or you have to choose 2 of these. But basically the construct, the 1/1 counters and double strike, the land, or the scry 2, gain 2. Got to remember all of those because I could end up having a pretty good option and not taking it and screwing up the choices here. So gotta be careful. Got to figure out a way to deal with the Kami here because of the fact that it, can keep coming back from the graveyard is tough. A Wandering Emperor off the top would be ideal. All right, Shieldred, that's pretty good. Shieldred's pretty good because it slows them down, you would think, in the department of attacking in with big things that, like let's say the Kami, because of the fact that there's a Death Toucher out on the field. You never know. Probably not. I'm going to be honest with you, probably not, but you know, it's out there, so at least they're going to have to think about it. All right, Catilda comes down, no big deal. Oh, now they definitely can't attack. There was no enchantments played this turn, which means it's only a 4/4 body, so there's nothing that can come through. Bought us some time, love that. And I think Rafine's the move here. I think Rafine is the move here, and we send in just a Shieldred, or do we send in more than the Shieldred to draw cards? You know what I mean? I don't know. Do we send in anybody? Because we are going to get the pump from the wedding announcement and another 1/1. Maybe we don't send in anybody here. Gosh, I'm not sure. But if we don't draw a land and get to fairy down next turn, we could be in trouble. Yeah, I'll send it through. I'll send it through. All right, it's a 5/6. We draw a card. We also gain some life. We send it in, and now they're going to have to at least block with 2, which they don't want to do. Nice. We get another card. Okay, perfect. All right, that worked out okay. Now they're taking 2 every draw as well, so they're down to 11. Things are looking pretty good. This is a very solid deck. Things like Shieldred and Rafine are just so nasty to have to deal with all the time. We've yet to play new card, though. I want to play new card here. We've got a handful of new cards, so I'm hoping we can get one of these down next turn. Preferably the Teferi. That would be great, and get the loyalty building super fast. We technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 could draw 5 cards because of Rafine's ability to connive, right? Well, not anymore. All right, that's fine. What's happening here? Did they not? What did they do? I'm missing something here. They took Rafine, right? Oh wait, they can't take Rafine. What? Well, yeah, they can. 3 or less. They paid the 1 for the ward cost, right? I'm confused. They did something clearly incorrect there. They paid the 1, I thought, for the ward cost, but apparently they did something incorrectly with their mana there. I wasn't really paying super close attention as to what they were trying to do. Maybe they paid the mana to copy the effect, but this isn't sideways, so that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. They were in trouble there, though. I mean, the next turn we get to fairy down, and we're really kind of grinding them out, but like I said, it is what it is. GG. All right, that was a very solid first game. I mean, it had its hiccups there with the mana for a minute, but I hate to see the opponent, you know, ending on that kind of a note too, which is a bit of a bummer. But overall, a win is a win, and that was a clean one that I think we were going to grab either way. Hopefully we get a bit of a better start here. Hopefully something on the 2-drop would be nice. All right, we got a 2-drop. We have a command. This is good. This is good. And we go first. That's actually really good. All right. The command. It's such a good card. Honestly, I read this thing every time and I'm like, that's so busted. I hope I get a chance here to actually utilize it. Maybe use it to get another planes and then scry. I don't know. There's so many good things on that thing. Giving double strike is always good too. If the lane is open and we get an attack off. The problem with it being is sorcery speed. So if I wanted to get that double strike, I'd have to kind of telegraph that, which the opponent would then block, obviously, in most cases. Let's get the underdog in. Jadar. Jadar, huh? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the scry and also the planes. Let's go and attack in here. I also have Void Rend that could take out the Jadar, but I don't know if that's that important right now. It could end up being extremely important depending on the deck that they're in, but we'll see. Let's go ahead, like I said, though. Search for planes. Scry 2. Let's auto pay. All right. And another Void Rend is cool. It's definitely a card I could use in this game. So Let's get it off the top. We'll probably play Shieldred next though, and depending on what they play out here. It's turn 3, so I can't imagine something crazy coming down. That's pretty annoying. We're gonna have to discard a card. It's fine. That's fine. All right, so this will reanimate a creature next turn. There's nothing in my wait, their graveyard only or ours too? Just theirs. Yeah, we're okay. We're okay. We send this through. They do block, which because they think they're going to get back with their turn, which they're not. All right, now we're good. They just got the 2/2 zombie now. Nothing to do with it. Not able to, you know, if they attack, they lose it. So they're probably going to sack it to something here. Shieldred. Okay. I have one of those. I have one of those. I'm going to Void Rend their Shieldred here, though. Sure, we'll do this now. Thank you for giving me the option and actually holding priority there. That was good of the game to do that. All right, we get a command. This command also, the first time I'm really playing it, so let me just double check everything here. So the 2/1/1 counters on gains lifelink and turn is really good. Destroy each creature with power 2 or less. So sweeper, return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with highest mana. Okay, so it's got a lot of removal on it. Gosh, there's so many things to read on these cards, these commands. I just feel like I'm going to slip up and not play it at maximum value. All right, they're gonna probably play out a Wandering Emperor here. Oh, cut down, that's fine. That is fine. We do a little bit of a cheeky Wandering Emperor of our own. Do we avoid the cut down? We don't have any well, yeah, we have no creatures in our graveyard. So Gix's command wouldn't have worked anyways, most likely for what we were kind of building up to there. But another really easy win, nice and clean. On to the next one. Esper Midrange, man. This deck was the truth before these new cards, and it's even better now. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't think we played much of anything new yet, though. I'm hoping that... I guess we played the command last turn. We get the Surge engine, though, on 2 this time. So this is definitely a keepable hand. And we go first again. How surprising. This is kind of a new territory for me to go first this many times. Let's go with the engine. Let's go. Let's go. Mono black, huh? Okay. Well, they're going to attack here, obviously trying to bait me into a block here, even though they can pump it up. So no blocks from us. And our next play is going to be a debate between Wedding Announcement or the command. Oh, they ninjutsu? What in the world? Okay, I didn't expect that. Did not expect that. That's pretty interesting. So they have green in their deck and their ninjutsu. What is happening here? Whenever it deals combat damage, player may discard a creature card if you do destroy target creature or planeswalker or controllers. Yeah, I figured that's kind of what just happened there. That's a bummer. All right, Celestis. That's interesting. Are they reanimating stuff? Just an absolute world of confusion that I'm in right now. All right. I mean... there's nothing I really want to Void Rend at the moment. Gix seems like a pretty fun card right now. Being able to draw some cards if my creatures get through. Kind of forcing them into some bad blocks here with the 1/1. I don't see why not. Gix kind of giving us the best of both worlds here, because the Wedding Announcement is going to give us the 1/1 counter or card draw, but in this case, if the 1/1 gets through, we draw a card and we get a 1/1. Thanks to the Gix, we do lose a life, but ultimately, pretty solid turn. Pretty solid. Yep, there we go. It gets through. We take action and we get it to Teferi. Okay, love that. Love that. All right. 4 mana though to work with. We keep getting in these spots where Teferi is 1 mana away from being able to get casted out, and in this case we need a very specific color. We need a blue source. So Hopefully we can find it. The opponent, though, probably attacks with the Evolved Sleeper here because they have the mana for it, but do they ninjutsu again? I don't know. It's a good question. It's a good question. Nope. They just actually pump it up this time. That's a pretty interesting way to do things too. You know, like typically you'd send an elusive creature through so you can get a ninjutsu off, right? Like an elusive one that can fly or is unblockable. But in this case, they send through the Evolved Sleeper. That way they can you know, pump it, which scares me off of the block, which gets their ninjutsu through. So it's a pretty interesting little tactic to have that as your main way to get those through. We find a land, but it's not the one we need for the Teferi, unfortunately. We have a little bit of life gain with this. We might want to try to do, I don't know, the life gain and maybe the token, the construct. They finally find a green source. They've had it already with this, but they find an actual green source. Maybe they're just splashing green for the Avabruck. I'm not sure. Such an interesting looking deck. There's the other blue. We are in business, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so with that being said, how do we want to take this going forward? Probably just want to send in one of these and then Teferi up, and we'll drop one Teferi little construct guy here.
Knowledge is meant to be shared.
Little spirit, a Teferi spirit. Again, this didn't feel like an absolute smooth sailing type of a game, but yet we're still this far ahead, which is really nice. There goes Teferi. It's a kind of a bummer, I'm not gonna lie, but at least they got no card advantage off of the Invoke Despair. And this thing is still super valuable with the fact that it can just keep growing over and over again. We are going to send in both of these attackers here because we have the wedding announcement to draw cards with. We'll see how they want to approach it. Nothing. Here comes the wedding announcement, and here comes them probably being pretty upset about it. And we draw a card, and Teferi grows even further. Alright, the opponent is able to get the Celestis off though, which means that they can draw 2 cards this turn, kind of getting a little bit more selection. Rebirth, there's the Avabruck. I was wondering when that was going to make an appearance. Avabruck is pretty good, can't lie. I also can't lie though, my Rafine is going to make things pretty interesting for this game, because of the fact that it can connive making this bigger and make other creatures bigger. Do we go for the construct or the double strike? I'm not too sure. Let's get this in first. Think about this attack here. So if we send in everybody here, give the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, let's give 1/1 and double strike. Let's gain some life and scry too. I think that's fine. 1/1 and double strike. Shieldred's solid. We always want a Shieldred if we can. And we send everybody through. Just keep the pressure on, right? That's got to be the right move, right? Because yeah, it's got to be the right move. And then we connive with this. 1, 2, 3. I think Shieldred is still the best play there. Like so. Now they're going to be forced to make some blocks they don't want to make, right? Because we got a double strike 5/5, which can come in and hit them for 10, which, you know, that's pretty darn good. We've also got the 8/8 and then a 3/2, which I don't mind losing in this exchange. It's clearly going to get blocked by a 4/4 body, something like that, because if we lose it, we can always bring it back with its blitz cost, which is why I chose to attack the way I did. So I'm hoping this pans out for us here. And they lose because they didn't realize we had double strike, I guess. I don't know. Opponent's not really playing super great today, but I guess they missed the double strike part. They must have thought I only gave the 1/1 counters, but it is a new card. I don't blame them, so GG. I can't lie, this deck is absolutely silly. It's silly, man. Esper, and I don't even think I have the best built Esper deck by any means. I am trying new things in this build that I think, you know, can be played with and interchanged out of the deck. And I'm sure there's going to be an absolute crushing Esper list coming out very, very soon. So be on the lookout because this thing is brutal. And we haven't even really gotten Teferi down into play and kept it into play yet. And that's going to be something else because Teferi is wild. I've gotten Teferi in another deck of mine right now. And it's more of a meme deck that we're going to play down the road. And it is really, really silly when it ults, man. All right, let's definitely get down to Rafine here. I think that's a solid plan. And then maybe Shieldred next. Just, you know, the good old 1-2 punch combo. We are against Azorius colors here. I would imagine this is like maybe Soldier. Yeah, this is a Soldier deck. Soldier deck. I have yet to play against a Soldier deck, so I'm curious to see how this is going to pan out for us. The fact they haven't played any other creatures yet, though, is a little bit like, what's the deal with that? But all right, let's go. We got another cut down though, so that's huge. Cut down will be able to answer a lot of what they're trying to do here. Not that though. Not that. That's all right though. I do have 2 creatures that can attack here, so feeling okay. You can go. You can go. I have to get the Rafine bigger. I know keeping 2 lands here seems a little silly, I would imagine, but getting Rafine bigger was kind of the key here, especially because we're going to be drawing cards with Wedding Announcement. So not too concerned about that. Throwing away that Shieldred. Just keeping the pressure on. Super hot right now. Temperature is up, cranked up to 100. And they drop down a Defiler, which is going to create even more tokens for them. So that's interesting. Why would you attack here? I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I guess you have enough blockers, but if I have any removal, they're toast, you know? Oh, some double strike over the top wins me the game, which is kind of a bummer. I'd like to get Teferi down and do some trolling stuff with Teferi, but let's just win the game, I guess. Oh man, would have liked to have played Teferi there. That's a GG's, my friend. Let's get rid of you and you. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. All those things are very good, but we've won the game already, so it doesn't matter. I have Void Rend for the Defiler of Faith, so that's good. And that's game. GG's. That's unfortunate. Really wish I could have got that Teferi in, but we killed him a little too quickly. That's the problem with good decks, huh? All right, very, very solid. This thing is just cruising right now, just destroying everybody. So I hope we can keep going. I mean, this is going to be really nice. I have one more deck in mind tomorrow that I want to do. Keep your eye out for that one. It should be another pretty solid deck like this one here, where we should be making some serious progress on the ladder. After that, though, it's kind of going to be no holds barred. I think I'm going to go a little bit more crazy with the silliness, you know what I mean? The reanimators, the things like that. And it's a Blade of the Oni. Blade of the Oni. You know what? I'm going to go here. And we're going to drop this Blade of the Oni. You're out of here. And we got a 3-2 unblockable now that's going to keep coming through over and over again. Would have loved to get the Wedding Announcement down there, but I think that was a bit of too much of an investment considering the board state we were looking at there. All right. We are probably going to use our 1-1 to well, maybe just take 4. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, they hit us with the cut down. That's a bummer. Maybe I should have pumped that up that last turn into the 5-2. Well, you live and you learn, I guess. All right, they drop a card. They draw 2 more. We'll take the 4, no big deal. This does eat up a lot of what's going on the board here. Destroys each creature with power 2 or less. Sacrificing a creature highest power. 2/1 counters and lifelink, which could be pretty cool. All right, how do we want to do this? I think we play out Rafine. Try to find that land drop. I think that's a fair play. I think that's a fair play. Get Rafine down. Go digging here for the land. We need it bad. We do need it bad. There it is. I think the actual Surge engine late here is not great. We don't have a ton of blue sources, so it doesn't make a whole ton of sense to keep that. Now we have the cut down too, which is great. And another body. I do have the ability to exile this, which might be better than allowing it to die with the cut down, I hope. Okay, so they do kill the Rafine. That's a bummer. At least that's their whole turn, right? So that is something to consider as a positive. They send in the 4 damage. We'll take it. No big deal. We're still winning this race here. We're going to attack back with the 3 damage and then draw a card and then answer this with the Wandering Emperor next turn. Obviously, I know about Mishra, right? So we got to be very careful about the melding ability. That can happen pretty quick, but Mishra does not have haste. This can give it haste, though. Be on the lookout for that. I do have a Mardu deck we've already built with this card in it, so I'm very familiar with how this card works. It does give all their creatures haste, which means I probably should Wandering Emperor here on this end step, right? Because I think once the attack happens, the triggers go on to stack, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I think just in case, to play it safe, in case I don't know the ruling there, you know, the best, I should probably do this now. It's never ideal to play Wandering Emperor main phase like that, but you know, sometimes you gotta do it. Simple land plus Mishra there, you know, they transform and we're screwed. So can't allow it. Can't allow it. Mint sauce chips. Interesting name, man. Yep, they had the Mishra. Did they have the land though? They didn't. So there was nothing really to fear too much there, but we are going to go with the Gix's command here. We're going to put counters on our creature here, and then we're also going to make them sacrifice creature. And that's the game, right? There we go. GG's. All right, let's freaking go. That was another very like dominant game. I haven't really felt like we've been in like super bad danger at any point in these games. It's crazy. Just absolutely stomping our way through this diamond ladder like it's nothing. Cutting through it like butter right now, man. Esper is so broken. This is actually broken. This might be one of the times that you could say something's broken and like it's not like clickbait for me. Just kidding, but no, it's genuinely broken. It's pretty darn good. Opening hand here solid, but we only have 2 lands. That could become a problem down the road. We'll see. I hope not. There we go. Nope, not a problem at all. I really wish I could have gotten Teferi going at some point though. I mean, we've still got time obviously, but we're getting later into the video. So as I say that though, and I open my mouth, Teferi hits the the hand, so that's nice. It's a good blocker too against this infantry. Obviously the infantry does get bigger and it has trample, so maybe not, but okay. Vampire's Vengeance deals 2 damage to everything except for a vampire. Yep, that's exactly what it does. Okay. Let's get a Rafine down. Hopefully no cut down here. That would be such a bummer. Is that what we want to do? Yeah, probably, right? Probably. All right, I really want to get this Teferi down. Please don't have a cut down or anything silly. Please no silliness. A Rakdos build with a lot of burn and maybe a lot of kill spells with infantries makes sense here. So I would imagine they do have something like cut down coming in to the field here. So let's just not get too excited about Rafine being resolved. The game's not looking super great for us. If we can answer this with the Wandering Emperor, maybe we have a shot here, but that's going to require us hitting a land off the top, a very specific land. That's a good sign. I could Rafine though, right? I could attack him with Rafine and oh, there we go. We didn't even need to. Okay, that's money. Now, what to do? Things just flipped right back over to our advantage, I feel like here. So now I'm feeling pretty good. Now, do I attack in here with the Rafine? Because we do need them to attack in with their creatures to make the Wandering Emperor work anyway. So I think it's a definite attack through here. And we have a great card we can drop with the Rafine's ability here. So let's do that. And now we get the Teferi down next turn. And if we can get this Wandering Emperor resolved and killing one of these, I mean, we're in just prime position. Absolute prime position. I think they're considering the Blood Tithe Harvester sacking mechanic, but they can only do up to 4. So we are avoiding that. So I'm wondering what the move is here. Maybe they got a burn spell of sorts, but they're gonna have to pay ward ability in my ward mechanic twice. Okay. And what's the burn spell? 2 damage. That's a bummer. So that's not going to work then. I was going to go ahead and flash in the Wandering Emperor to save this, but it's actually not going to do the trick, unfortunately. So we do die, unfortunately, to that. But, you know, they're left with 1 mana open, a couple blood tokens, and they're going to get hit with this Wandering Emperor. So we should still absolutely be in the lead here. That was a 2-for-1. So anytime you get a 2-for-1, and they actually, you know, they sacked a creature too. I mean, that's just, the value there was really high for us, I think, on that turn. We have a lot of cards in hand versus their 2. You know, we've got a Planeswalker on field. Things are gonna get pretty ugly. Things are gonna get pretty ugly. We create the token here. Looks like they probably have a burn spell or some sort of kill spell here with the 1 mana. Otherwise, it's the blood tokens that are holding priority, obviously. So, yep, that's gonna do it. Teferi hits the field with the Wandering Emperor, full hand here still. The opponent wants nothing left to do with it. That game started out rough too. I actually thought we were gonna get blown out there, so very solid. All right, if I'm doing the math right, looks like we got time for one more game here. Let's get this one on the winning record here, and then, I mean, if we go undefeated, that'd be silly. That would just be silly. Okay, so good hand, but awkward hand, thanks to the mana being awkward. These are all slow lands up till turn 3, so not going to be able to get the engine in on 2 unless we get lucky on the land top deck, so we'll see. Nope. Yeah, Surge Engine, I gotta say, felt a bit awkward here. I like the card a lot. Definitely going to be seeing me trying it again, probably in some sort of blue tempo deck, but as of right now in this build, felt a bit slow. Wedding announcement seems like a good idea, and then we have a command if we can figure out a way to play it. There's so many things we have here that are, you know, answerable things. Okay, so this is an artifact that does what exactly? So this says whenever another non-token artifact you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield or is put in exile from the battlefield, create a power stone. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. Definitely a Rafine here because we also want to be able to connive and find that land. We find it. Beautiful. That went very nicely, but it's not a white source, so that is something we got to keep in mind. We don't have the Wandering Emperor play just yet, but any one particular land off the top here will be good enough for us to cast the Gix's command, which is absolutely a bonkers card here. The ability to give the lifelink alone is so good. Ooh, that's scary. Can't lie, that's pretty scary. No ways to give it haste though, huh? Okay. So we're chilling. Oh, that has double strike. I almost made a mistake there. Almost made a mistake there. We're gonna eat the damage. All right, yeah, definitely gonna Gix here. This and this. Three cards, they're all lands. Drop one of them for sure. The command seems like a pretty solid finisher here. Man, dropping a Shieldred seems like such a silly mistake though. I don't know, guys. Maybe this. I wanted to grow Rafine bigger so we can gain more life here. That was the main thing, right? But it is what it is. We got hit with the Yurgo. The opponent pretty salty about this game. I would be too, honestly. I mean, we are hitting pretty solid right now. I mean, things are going pretty well for us at the moment. We can't be touched right now, so. All right. I'll be nice and give him one back, you know what I mean? It's only fair, right? You give me a Yurgo, I give you a Yurgo. It's, you know, it's ebb and flow. All right. And I think I'm gonna go Tenacious Underdog here into Wandering Emperor. I think that's a very solid choice. This says whenever it attacks, exile target card from your graveyard. I think we send both of these through. I'll trade with that. That's a fine trade, I think. Also could give First Strike and 1/1 to something. Is that what I want to do though, or do I want to exile the Phyrexian Dragon Engine? I don't know. I don't think you can go wrong either way. Plussing one of these to kill this 3/1 is fine, but I also have a fine block on the return, and they don't even block anyway, so there you go. There's your answer. There's your answer. Uh-oh. I don't like them touching my cards. Okay. Okay, buddy. You want to throw a fireball at my Tenacious Underdog? So be it. So be it. Now we put the foot on the throat and we don't let up. You're gonna Yurgo me and then you're gonna kill my creature. They hit me with a good game. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not enough damage, so they must be saying good game. They must be saying good game in the respect that I have won. I don't know. I don't know if they think they won or not, but if they think they won, they're sadly mistaken, so.
I've learned
See ya.
much during my travels. Let me my judgment is fun.
Ouch, ouch. And we go ahead and do one of these. Boom, boom. Do one of these. Boom, boom. And we do one of these. Boom, boom. And we do one of these. Boom, boom. All right, GG's, my friend. It was a good time. It was a good time. I feel bad. I feel bad, but I don't. I mean, I got your goad. It's never really fun to get your goad, especially when you don't think you're taking that long at all. Anyways, that is going to conclude today's gameplay portion of the video. We are going to break the deck down and talk about it a little bit more. But before I do so, I wanted to give a huge shout out to everyone who made it this far in the video. I do appreciate it a lot because it helps with the YouTube algorithm for sticking around this long. So thank you for that. I do appreciate it. And with that being said, let's look at today's build, man. It's fun, man. This deck was fun. And it's fun because we're winning, right? Winning is fun. Winning is always fun. It's a deck, though, guys, that we all knew was already good, right? There's nothing like super crazy here. We weren't trying to meme on people, which is a little sad. We do like to meme on people here on the channel, but I did want to kind of jump into a little bit more meta stuff first, just to kind of get it out of the way and then feel out how things are playing out and what the cards kind of do to learn how to be a little more silly and how to pop off a little bit harder. So taking this one a little bit slow, this new set release, we're dipping our toes in before we get a little crazy. But Anyways, we wanted to play Teferi, right? Teferi was a card that I've built around already a couple of different decks. Haven't seemed to make it work perfectly yet until this deck. I mean, it doesn't work perfectly. I'd say it still has its flaws, but in this deck, it makes a lot of sense because of the fact that, you know, we're conniving with Rafine, we're drawing cards with the Gix, we're drawing cards with Wedding Announcement. There's a ton of card draw happening here with Teferi in this build, so it makes a lot of sense for it to gain all that loyalty. You know, obviously the Spirit too is very dangerous, especially if it comes down early and then we just, you know, connive on it over and over again. This thing can get out of hand extremely fast. So I wanted to try this card out today. Thought it would be a really cool idea. And then the Gix made a lot of sense. I've seen people playing this card a little bit too, and it, you know, drawing cards and dealing damage to yourself, obviously being a back end on that is like not great, but when you're gaining life with Shieldred, you don't really care. You're taking 1 damage per card, gaining 2 life per card. So it's net positive. And Shieldred is one of the main staples of the deck, so it made a lot of sense to have Gix in here as well. The commands, I really like the commands. I really like these commands a lot. Particularly the white one. It does it's, you know, it does a lot. Finding that Plains feels like it's a really good choice on one of these kind of cards, because if you're ever mana screwed or mana locked, you can kind of go in there and do that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to explain, you know, I don't know how to break these cards down any further than I think that they're very good for what they try to do, which is try to, you know, afford you a lot of options, right? You want to have options when playing these cards, and they offer you a lot of really great things. I mean, some of these would be like Gix's command, for instance, would be pretty good in like a deck where you're trying to mill yourself out because you can bring back creatures. There's just so much text on all these, you can't really go through each one of them and why they'd be so good in each spot. But both of these cards, you know, being splashed 2 of in this deck made a lot of sense. I think the command, the white command, worked a little bit better in today's build. Being able to give that double strike can end the game very quickly, but the downside of it being sorcery is kind of tricky because, again, you're kind of telegraphing your play and your opponent will make the blocks that they need to make. Both of them, though, very good cards. I think super high value, worth giving a shot and see how you like them. A card I would probably cut, though, Surge Engine. I like Surge Engine. I think it was great, but I think Surge Engine belongs in another type of a build. So I think keeping this to like what it was probably meant for, which is like those mono blue tempo decks, those Is It tempo decks, makes a little more sense. But I wanted to see if it could be a viable replacement for Evolve Sleeper. I liked it. I mean, I did like it. It was just, here's the problem I had with it in this build, right? We get it down on turn 2, and unless you have a Tenacious Underdog with 2 mana, turn 3 got awkward because you had a lot of really good turn 3 plays, right? You had the Wedding Announcement, the Gix, the Rafine, the Void Rend, and then you don't have the mana to pump it, right? Then we have a pretty good 4 mana curve, right? And then you're like, I don't have the mana to pump it. And so it sticks there as a defender until you have a play where you can pump 1 mana into it and then drop a Tenacious Underdog, and so on and so forth. So it can be awkward at times. That's the only thing, right? But once you start pumping it up and it gets those benefits, it's actually really pretty solid. The rest of the deck pretty similar to any other you know, Esper deck you've seen. Shieldred, Wandering Emperor, Rafine, Void Rend. These are all staples. Wedding Announcement, obviously making a lot of sense here. And then Cut Down was kind of a splash too, because we didn't have a lot of removal in the deck, and a Void Rend, obviously answering everything is cool, but it's a 3 mana spell and it requires very specific mana. So having a one mana Cut Down is always nice early, just in case they get off to a pretty quick start. But ultimately, guys, deck pretty solid. I obviously am not one to say that I'm very much, I don't know how to explain this. I'm very much more of a memer than I am like, let's be super competitive, right? So my decks don't typically lean towards the competitive side of things. So I'm sure somebody out there gonna make an Esper deck that's actually like fine-tuned, well-oiled machine. So be on the lookout for that. But I am just kind of putting awareness out there that, hey, if I could throw together this Esper deck that just absolutely rolled the diamond ladder, I'm sure it's coming. That's pretty much all I'm saying. I'm sure it's coming. Expect Esper Midrange to still be on top of its game. Probably a pretty heavy meta share, I would imagine. So be on the lookout for it. But that's going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We're going to be back again, of course, tomorrow, and hopefully for this entire week, even all the way through the weekend. I'm going to try my best to get you guys videos daily until end of next Friday. They should be pretty much daily, so be on the lookout for that. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already. And before I get out of here, huge shout out as always to the Marty Mob. If you guys don't know, the Marty Mob is the membership program here on the channel, and I got to give them a shout out at the end of every single video to let them know how much I appreciate everything they do for me, because the Marty Mob helps support the channel with the monthly memberships, and it goes a long way for me. And I want to say thank you to them and let them know they are appreciated. And you know, I appreciate everything. I mean, you guys aren't just like, it's not just the memberships, but like you guys are like the kindest, coolest people ever, and you guys constantly giving good ideas in Discord and just being good community members, and I just gotta make sure you guys know you're appreciated. That's all. But with that being said, guys, that'll end today's video, and we'll see you back here again next tomorrow for the next one. Until next time, peace out.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Swayze, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. Where's the upload, man? Man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap, yeah.